Hi, I'm Christy. Today I want to talk to you about helping our loved ones understand what's going on. So as I started writing last week's post, and I've got a link to that over on the blog, you can find that at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This originally posted in July of 2020. So as I mentioned in that post, I'd originally intended to write about ways to help our loved ones with special needs understand what's going on in this crazy world of ours. But I got a little sidetracked and ended up writing about lessons we can learn from them instead. But I think that this is still an important topic, so I decided to tackle it, or at least the tip of the iceberg, this week. So here we go. As I sit down to write this one, things are relatively calm, but they're still weird and kind of crazy. Some businesses are being forced to shut down again, and there's talk about heading towards a full-on shelter-in-place again. Our school situation is still up in the air, so in many ways, it's kind of our new same old, except that there's nothing old and there's nothing normal about it. We're trying to figure out the best schooling option for Sean among a bunch of options that all have significant drawbacks. And I haven't really even begun to think about what AJ's plans for this fall are going to be, mostly because it's beyond my control at this point, and I'm guessing no one really knows. I'm sure that they'll tell us what they've made as soon as decisions are made and plans are in place. Overall, I'm fairly certain that we'll be spending quite a bit of time at home this fall. Not sure if that's all bad, but definitely not what we had originally planned. Now, the past 4 months have definitely been interesting and full of lessons learned. But for this post, I want to focus on things that AJ's learned. Honestly, it's a bit hard to tell what he's learned because generally, it's pretty hard to get reliable information out of him. Now that said, we do know he's learned several things. He knows that all of this craziness is from the coronavirus, as he calls it, and it started in China, and it makes people really sick. He also knows that his cousin and his aunt got it, but we haven't really told them how sick they got. He knows that it means we have to wear a mask. Now, when he leaves the house, he gets his mask, and he sticks it in his back pocket because he wears jeans, and then he pulls it out and puts it on before he leaves the car. He knows that he doesn't have to go to work because of COVID-19. And he's excited that, as he says, Mom, July 31st is my last day of work. Now, of course, being the black and white thinker that he is, there is no concept that it might go on beyond that point. Instead, as usual, he's eagerly counting down the days until he's all done. Now, he's also happy that he gets to stay home and play on whatever screen, tablet, phone, computer, all day, every day. He's truly in his happy place here at home. Now, I think the thing that he's learned the best and learned really quickly, he likes that he can get away with staying in his pajamas more frequently. Now, early on in the quarantine, I think I've mentioned this, he went for several weeks in a row without getting dressed at all. Okay, maybe once a week, but that was it. Now that was truly his happy place. So what have I had to teach AJ during this pandemic? Well, that's another interesting question. I think a lot of lessons have happened so naturally, I didn't really even realize it. First of all, obviously we had to teach him about the basics of COVID-19 and what it's doing. Now, I think he's got a basic understanding and its impacted the entire world, and it makes people really sick. We've also focused a lot on rolling with the changes as they come. Some things are beyond our control. Flexibility makes things easier to handle. We've also taken advantage of the extra time at home to work on teaching him more life skills that he'll need to live away from us. Now, he's still not completely ready, but he is making progress. Now, at the same time, we've had to balance some things and purposely not tell him everything. Now, one of the issues that we're constantly battling is how much information to give him. While he's nearly a full adult, meaning he'll be 21 on his next birthday, he functions at a mid-elementary level. This means that he really only understands things at that elementary level. Because of this, we tend to lean towards giving him the amount of information that we would give an elementary kid. Now, if he brings up a question or an issue that we haven't previously raised, we'll give him an honest answer. We don't lie to him. We do give him the truth. But we do regularly simplify things for him, and we've been known to leave out details that we feel he doesn't need to know. In some ways, that sounds kind of bad, and I see why you'd think that. Limiting the information you give your kids is generally not a recommended course of action. But when I consider that AJ functions and what he truly understands, then I don't see the point of giving him more information than that. If I give him too much information, he's likely to either walk away from me totally shut down or ask a ton of questions, or realistically ask me a few questions over and over and over and over again. Now, all of these situations are likely to end up with me frustrated because he doesn't understand what I said to him or what's happening around him. Or worse, he could end up frustrated, which means he's likely to become contrarian and argue with everything we say with him, or just decide that everything is bad or ugly for the rest of the day. And at that point, nobody's happy. So, in an effort to make life easier for all of us, we simply give him the level of information that he understands in a way that he understands it. We answer his questions with answers that he understands. And then we leave it at that. So how does all of this apply to you? Well, I'd say the first option would be to take the lessons I've given here and to see if or how they apply to you and your loved one. If so, take the easy road and follow them as I've suggested. Now, if none of them apply to you, then take a few minutes to think about how or what you most want your loved one to learn during this pandemic. What do you need to do to get there? Write down the first 2 steps that you need to do and then start taking them. Now, if it's appropriate, ask your loved one what lessons they want to learn or what they don't understand about what's going on. Help them to better understand. Now, here's one that I think we don't think about. Give yourself grace. Have confidence that you're doing the best you can in an unprecedented time. And maybe most importantly, relax, unwind, and breathe. Now, everyone responds differently to stress and the unknown. But remember, we really are all in this together. I'm here if you need to talk or vent. You can email me at Christy, CHRISTY, at havenofhopeforme.com. And I would also say, don't be afraid to reach out to those around you and those in your area that can help you as well. All of this leads me to my question for this week. What lessons are you seeking to teach your loved one? Are there any you'd like to share? I'd love to hear about them. Again, you can leave me a comment below or comment over on the blog at www.havenofhopeforme.com. This originally posted in July of 2020. As always, I'd appreciate it if you'd share this with anybody you think would find it helpful. I'd love to help as many families as I can. Sign-up lists are available over on the website. Signing up lets you know about all newly released content as soon as it's available, as well as giving you some kind of helpful tidbit for you. I'm seeking to teach AJ as much as he can handle so that I can continue to say that life is good and there is never a dull moment.